Hi again, it's Jason from Fraser Valley Rose Farm, and today I want to talk to you about miniature roses and specifically why I think they're such a good option to grow. So miniature roses obviously are small. Well, that's not exactly true. How many times have you heard the story of somebody bought a miniature rose at the supermarket, took it home, put it into a garden bed, and ended up with something that was 3 or 4 feet tall? Did they buy the wrong rose? Was it mislabeled? No, actually miniatures as a class can be a little bit larger. It's true that your average miniature is in the range of say 18 inches up to about 30 inches, some smaller, but some can be larger. Some can be in those 3 or 4 foot shrubs, and I've even seen climbing miniatures that go up to 8 or 10 feet. So you do have to do your reading on the size, but I want to talk about some of the other qualities of miniature roses that make them really spectacular choices for the garden. One thing, they come in a full range of colors. So just like all of the modern floribundas, they share a lot of the breeding with those smaller floribundas, and they just have exceptional color quality. I'm going to show you some of these close-ups in just a minute, but you get some really cool color patterns and forms in miniature roses. Second thing is that even though they are called the miniature rose, so you would imply a little bit of weakness or slow growth. The truth is that miniatures can be tough roses as well. Hardiness wise, average they're about zone 5. That's what I've seen listed for most of them, and they tend to be strong growers and strong rebloomers, which is another thing. I've never heard of a miniature rose so far, you could correct me if you know one, that isn't a strong rebloomer. Everything that I have in this bed here, even though it's their first year being established, has bloomed for me 3 or 4 times already, and I just keep on pruning them back and they just keep on coming back. So let's get a look at some of these new ones that I've added here, and I'll discuss some of the other details as I go along. Here's a mini that I have grown for a few years. This is called Magic, and what I love about it is that strong red color, but also with the yellow reverse of the petals. So that's really nice. And at the back here, a lavender. This is Lavender Crystal. And I don't know if the color will show up here, but it is just a beautiful, beautiful lavender with a nice form to the bloom as well. So certainly I can say that the miniatures are not lacking for charm of their flowers. This is Crackling Fire. I guess you can guess why with all that hot color in there. I'm going to see if I can focus in on one of the flower buds here, because that is a gorgeous set of colors there. And what a nice form. There's Heidi, light pink with darker centers. Unfortunately, it's struggled with a little bit of powdery mildew, so I've sprayed it with some sulfur, and you might see that on there. And I think, or I'm hoping, that that's just to do with it being the first year in the bed here, and hopefully it will grow out of that susceptibility as I go further. And there's Iced Tea, also with sulfur on the leaves because of powdery mildew in its first year. But wow, what a set of colors there on Iced Tea, and what a great name for this rose. And just to its right here, I'm going to back off of this one just to show how many flowers I'm getting off of this rose. Cozy Yellow with, yes, a strong yellow color, and once again a great form to those blooms. Proving my point about size and vigor, this one is Bee's Knees with what a great color. But the other thing I was going to say is it's jumped all the way up to 30 inches. It's twice as big as anything else in this bed, and I suspect when it's finished it will be a 3 to 4 foot shrub. Here's Kristen, blooming profusely with bicolor flowers, and I'll get a good focus on Rockstar, but yeah, that is a Rockstar, and it's been blooming really, really well for me. Here's Sweet Revenge. I'd love to know the story behind that naming. And Flower Power. It's my last one that I'm going to show you, but look at the exceptional color on that with the apricot centers and then light pink outer petals. It goes through a lot of complicated color changes through the season, but it's been non-stop. Well, I just showed you some miniatures growing in the greenhouse, but they do grow wonderfully in the landscape as well. Behind my right shoulder here is Warm Welcome, which has been growing in this spot for a couple of years. It's put up 3 or 4 feet of growth very easily. It can actually grow into about a 10-foot climber, and it does its overwintering right here in the landscape, so they can be tough landscape plants. choose your sizes carefully, read up on them, but if you choose some of the smaller ones, they're wonderful for containers, unmatched for container growing, and you pack a lot of rose color into a very small amount of real estate, which is what I'm really promoting them for here. Obviously, I've just tried a few varieties, some of the ones that I've shown you here today, but if you have any of your favorite selections of miniatures that you'd like to recommend to other growers, drop those into the comments below, and I would really appreciate that. Thanks for watching today.